Welcome to Book Bites, your weekly dose of literary delight. We dive into Amazon's top-selling books, giving you the lowdown on what's hot and what's not. Join us as we uncover hidden gems, discuss captivating storylines, and analyze the minds of best-selling authors. Whether you're a seasoned reader or just starting your literary journey, there's something for everyone. So grab a cup of coffee, get cozy, and let's get reading.
Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive. Today, we are going to be taking a look at a book that you guys requested. It's called The Way by Saint Josemaría Escrivá.
Oh, yes. The Way.
Yeah. And so you guys wanted to know the essence of this spiritual classic and why it's resonated with so many people. And I guess you know how the ideas in the book might connect with your own life.
Right.
So, it's an interesting book because it's not a typical story or narrative.
Right.
It's actually 999 short points for reflection.
Yeah. It's almost like having a conversation with the author in a way, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it.
Yeah.
So I guess to start off, maybe you could tell me a little bit about what makes The Way so unique.
Well, one of the most fascinating things about The Way is how it encourages us to find holiness in the everyday. You know, it's an idea that was actually quite revolutionary when it was first published.
Yeah, I can see how that would be revolutionary, especially decades ago.
Right.
I mean, back then, wasn't the common thought that holiness was only achievable by, like, monks or priests?
Exactly. Back then, many people believed that you had to, withdraw from the world to connect with the divine. And you know what Escrivá does? He completely turns that on its head. He argues that holiness isn't reserved for a select few. He says it's actually woven into the fabric of our everyday lives.
Wow.
Our work, our families, even our frustrations can become pathways to something deeper.
Oh, that's interesting. So does that mean even something like, I don't know, doing the dishes could be a spiritual act?
Absolutely. Escrivá talks about redeeming the time. He encourages us to infuse even mundane tasks with spiritual intention. See, instead of viewing work solely as a means to an end, he suggests we see it as an opportunity to serve, to create, to contribute to something larger than ourselves. It's all about shifting our perspective and finding meaning in those everyday actions.
I see. So this idea of taking something ordinary and making it extraordinary.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, and all of this practical guidance, it seems like, is delivered in Escrivá's very unique style.
Yeah.
And I have to admit, it is pretty captivating. I mean, the way he uses those 999 short, punchy statements, it really does make it feel like he's speaking directly to you, even though the overall tone is authoritative.
Right. It's that directness, that conversational style that I think makes The Way so approachable. And he tackles, universal themes, love, work, struggle.
Right.
In a way that resonates, I think, across generations.
Yeah, and you mentioned struggle. No spiritual journey is without its challenges. Right. And I think it's interesting how Escrivá doesn't shy away from that.
He certainly doesn't. He acknowledges that growth takes effort. There will be times we stumble or feel discouraged. For example, he points out that confronting our flaws, cultivating patience, even in the face of small daily annoyances, these are all stepping stones on the path to holiness. He urges us to persevere even when things get tough.
Yeah, and it's powerful how he connects those struggles right to our everyday experiences. I mean, think about it. Everyone listening has probably wrestled with a difficult relationship. They've questioned their purpose at work. They've faced setbacks. And I think The Way speaks to those universal human experiences in a very tangible way.
It does. And while The Way has had a profound impact on millions of lives, it's important to remember that it was written within a specific time and culture.
Right, of course. And I think approaching any book, especially one with such deep themes, requires a critical mind.
Absolutely.
It encourages us to consider the author's background and how that might have shaped their perspective.
Absolutely. But at its core, The Way offers a unique perspective on spirituality, suggesting that holiness isn't an exclusive club, it's a journey we can all embark on within the context of our daily lives.
So I guess the question for everyone listening is, what does this all mean for you? Does this idea of finding meaning and purpose in the ordinary resonate? It's something worth considering. And as we wrap up our deep dive into The Way, I think the key takeaway here is that holiness isn't reserved for saints and mystics. It's something we can all strive for in the midst of our daily lives. Here's a final thought to ponder. Could reflecting on even one of those 999 points in The Way change your approach to a mundane task, a difficult relationship, or even just how you view your day? Thanks for joining us, and until next time, keep exploring.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.
It was great to be here.
That's all for this episode of Book Bites. We hope you enjoyed our review, and if you did, please like, share, and follow our podcast. And don't forget to leave a comment with your thoughts on the book. We love hearing from our listeners.